My wife cheated on me with my own father. Then they tried to send me to prison. And for months, my own family believed them. I only survived because I recorded everything. I still feel sick writing this. My wife and I had been together 6 years. Married for 2. No huge fights. No cheating rumors. We were even talking about having a baby. I thought I was building a future. And my dad? Everyone loved him. Funny, helpful, always fixing things around the house. Coming over every Sunday for dinner. The perfect father. I trusted him more than anyone. That was my biggest mistake. It started small. My wife began mentioning him a lot. Your dad is so kind. He understands me. I wish you listened like he does. I laughed it off. Then she started dressing nicer on Sundays, staying longer after dinner, saying she was helping him clean. One night I joked, "Careful, he'll steal you from me." She didn't laugh. She just said, quietly, "That's not funny." The truth came from a voicemail. I was driving to work when my phone connected to my car. A message started playing. My wife's voice. Soft. Intimate. "I miss you already. Last night was dangerous." Then a man laughed. My father's laugh. I almost crashed. I pulled over, shaking, and replayed it again, and again, and again, hoping I was wrong. I wasn't. That night, I checked our phone records. Hundreds of calls. Late at night, while I was asleep. Then I checked our shared laptop. There was a hidden folder. Photos. Hotel rooms. Her in his arms. And one message that destroyed me. "If he ever finds out, we'll say you were helping me leave him." Helping her leave me. With my own father. I didn't confront them. Not yet. I started recording everything. Every conversation. Every argument. Every strange moment. And suddenly I saw it. The way they looked at each other. How he touched her hand. How she defended him every time I disagreed. Then another twist. My wife started accusing me of cheating. Out of nowhere. "Who are you texting? Why are you late? Why are you hiding things?" She even told my mother she was worried about my behavior. One night, she said calmly, "If our marriage ends, it won't be because of me." That's when I understood. They weren't just having an affair. They were building a story. A story where I was a villain, and they were the victims. The next twist came from my mother. One afternoon she called me. Her voice sounded normal. Too normal. Then she asked carefully, "Are you happy in your marriage?" I laughed and said yes. There was a long pause. Then she whispered, "Your wife seems worried about you lately." My stomach dropped. Apparently, my wife had been visiting her for coffee, telling her I was distant, that I snapped easily, that I scared her when I was stressed. She even compared me to my grandfather, a man who had been abusive decades ago. They were rewriting my family history. That night at dinner, I recorded everything. My father said casually, "Marriages fail when men don't listen." My wife nodded. "Some men don't know how dangerous they can be." They were practicing, testing lines. Then I noticed the money. Small amounts at first. $300, $500. Always late at night. Always to the same account. An account I didn't recognize. I followed it. It was in my father's name. Not even hidden. My hands went numb. They'd been stealing for months. Savings. Emergency fund. Even part of my inheritance. Then I found a draft email on my wife's phone. Unsent. To a lawyer. Subject. Divorce plus domestic violence options. Inside it said, "My husband's father is helping me leave safely." Helping her. By destroying me. Then my boss called me in. HR had received a complaint. Anonymous. They said I had anger issues. That I scared women at work. That I punched walls. All lies. But detailed. Too detailed. That night, my wife slept with her phone recording. Left the bedroom door open. And whispered on a call, "If he explodes soon, everything will be easier." To my father, that was when I understood. They weren't planning a divorce. They were planning a setup, a crime, and I was the target. The police came 2 nights later. I wasn't surprised. I was washing dishes when the knock started. Not loud, careful, controlled. 2 officers stood at the door. Calm voices, hands near their belts. They said they received a call about a domestic disturbance. A woman afraid for her safety. My wife stood behind them, wrapped in a blanket, eyes swollen, whispering, "I'm just scared sometimes." 10 minutes later, my father arrived, pretending to be shocked, saying he'd seen me lose my temper before. My mother stood in the kitchen crying, "Please don't take my son, he just needs help." Help! That word almost broke me. They separated us, asked if I'd ever hurt her, if I'd thrown things, if I drank too much. Then they said it. "Sir, we need you to come with us." At the station, I finally played my card. I asked to speak to the detective alone. Then I showed him everything. The voicemail, the recordings, the bank transfers, the draft email, hours of proof. He didn't interrupt once. When I finished, he leaned back and said quietly, "That's your father?" I nodded. He left, came back with 2 supervisors. By sunrise, I was free, and my wife wasn't. The arrest happened at home, in front of my parents. Handcuffs. No screaming. No tears. She looked at my father and said, "You promise you protect me." He went pale. Then the officers turned to him and said they needed him too, for questioning. My mother collapsed into a chair, whispering, "Oh my God, what did we do?" That was the first time she realized. They had almost destroyed me. When they searched my father's house, they found everything. Cash in envelopes, a second phone, printouts from divorce lawyers, and a contract signed by both of them. If husband is incarcerated, wife receives full ownership of property and inheritance. Father receives 50%. In my father's handwriting. Reading it felt like watching my own life get auctioned off. That night, I sat alone in my empty house. No wife, no father, no family, and I finally understood the truth. My wife hadn't seduced my dad. My dad had chosen her over his own son, and they had almost won. The trial started 4 months later. I sat alone on one side. They sat together on the other. Didn't touch, didn't look at me. The charges were brutal. Conspiracy, fraud, theft, false police reports, attempted framing. When the voicemail played in court, my father's laugh echoed. People gasped. My mother started sobbing. Then the contract appeared on the screen. The judge stared at it for a long time, then said, "You didn't just betray your son. You tried to erase him." The verdict came fast. My wife, 3 years. My father, 5. No parole for at least 2. When they took him away, he finally looked at me and whispered, "I was trying to save her. Not, I'm sorry." That was the moment I stopped having a father. My mother didn't speak to me for weeks. Then one night she came over, sat at the kitchen table, and told me the truth. She had known, not everything, but enough. She knew they were close. She knew about the money. She believed them when they said I was dangerous, because it was easier than believing my husband could do this. That hurt more than anything. She asked if I could forgive her. I told her honestly, I don't know. And that was the last real conversation we ever had. A year has passed now. I'm divorced. I sold the house. I moved to another city. I started over with almost nothing. Some nights, I still wake up shaking when my phone rings. Sometimes I still hear my father's laugh in my head. But I'm alive, and I'm free. I've learned that the worst betrayals don't come from strangers. They come from people who already know your weaknesses, who know your routines, your fears, your history, and know exactly how to use them. If someone starts telling stories about you before anything happens, that's not coincidence. That's preparation. Run. If you take anything from this story, take this. Trust your instincts. Record everything. Protect yourself early. Heartbreak hurts. Divorce hurts. But being betrayed by your own blood, that almost ended me. I survived. And that's the only ending that matters.